Okay, Algebra 1, here are a few examples on how to graph using slope-intercept form. Remember, when you're doing slope-intercept form, you are going to graph by starting with the y-intercept and then doing the slope from there. So looking at this first example, you first look to see, is my equation in slope-intercept form? This one is. You've got y equals something x and then plus something. So you start with the y-intercept, which is always at the end, and it's 4. So I'm going to plot my 4 on my y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes right there. And then starting at the y-intercept, you do the slope. The slope is what's in front of the x. So my slope is -3/1 because it's a whole number, so it's over 1. Remember that this is your rise and the bottom is your run. So I'm going to go down 3, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go to the right 1. Remember, always run to the right. So just because it's negative doesn't mean you go to the left on that. And then you connect the dots. And that would be your graph. You could do it a second time. I could do that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, and it would put it right there. And that still connects them up perfectly. Okay, so let's do another one. On this one, first thing we do is we look, is it in slope-intercept form? And yes, it is. Y equals something x plus or minus something. So I start with the y-intercept, which is out here on the end. It's -1, so I'm going to go down 1 right there. And then I'm going to do my slope from the plot point I just put on the y-axis. My slope is 2/5, which means I'm going to go up 2 and then over 5. So I'll count up 2, and then I'm going to go to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put a dot. I can't do it a second time on this because I would run out of graph, so I'm just going to connect these 2 dots, draw my arrows on the ends, and that's it. Let's look at this next one. This one, if you notice, it is not in slope-intercept form, so we need to fix that first. So what we're trying to do is get the y by itself, so I'm going to move the 4x over to the right side, 4x, and so that cancels these out, and I'm left with 2y equals, and I'm going to put that 4x here right after the equal sign, and then that 10 is a plus 10, so I'm going to write plus 10 there. And now I need to divide by 2 to get my 2 by itself, and I divide each term by 2, so divide by 2 there, and divide by 2 there, and I get y equals -4 divided by 2 is -2x, and then plus 5. And now I have it in slope-intercept form, so I can graph this. I find my y-intercept, it's a 5, so I go back to my graph, and I go count up 5 on the y-axis. 1, 3, 4, 5, and it goes there. Then I look at my slope, which my slope is -2, so that's the same thing as -2/1. So I'm going to rise -2 and run 1. Remember, when your slope is negative, it's going to go down, up or down first. The rise is up or down, so 1, 2, and then over 1. It's always to the right 1. I'm going to do this one a second time. 1, 2, over 1. So then I connect the dots. And I do have a negative slope, so Slope Man would be going down the hill. And just for those of you that are watching and you want to see Slope Man, there he is. It's not very good, Slope Man, but needs an eye. There we go. He is going downhill. So now let's look at this last equation. Okay, it's y minus 3 equals 1. The first thing you should see in this equation is that there's no x. So you automatically know that since there's no x, it won't touch the x-axis, which means it's horizontal. But this still is not in the proper form because y is not by itself on one side. So I'm going to first add 3 to both sides, and that would cancel out this 3 and that one, and that would leave me with 4 over here, and y equals 4. And again, no x, so there is, it doesn't touch the x-axis, which means it's not a diagonal, it is a horizontal line. And because y equals 4, it's going to cross the y-axis at 4. So I'm going to just put a dot on the 4 on the y-axis. Horizontal line means it's just going to go all the way across right on that 4 line. And that's it. You don't have to do a second dot on those because it's horizontal. So that's it, and I think that covers everything. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'd be happy to help. See you tomorrow.